finished film, but they don't always see the pressure behind creating one. Today, we're talking to filmmaker, producer, writer, director, and actor DeWayne Etheridge about independent film, horror, persistence, and what it takes to keep creating when you don't have the machine behind you. This is Artistry Unplugged, and please give a warm welcome to Mr. DeWayne Etheridge.
Hello,
Hey,
everyone.
what's up?
How you doing today? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So excited to have you here.
Okay, no problem. I'm excited to be here. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, we're just going to jump right in, okay? When did filmmaking stop feeling like a dream and started feeling real to you?
Maybe about 2011, I was working at a bank and I lost my job. So, I was kind of like, okay, what am I going to do now? Now I have to find another job, yada, yada. So I got my unemployment for a little bit. And I decided, you know what? You've been talking about doing film for a long time. This is the time to do it. Go ahead and make your film that you've been talking about for years. So then I took my unemployment money. I found local actors and I shot my very first horror film entitled House of Terror in 2012. Originally, it was called House of Pain, but I changed it because Tyler Perry had put his show out during that time. So I just changed it to House of Terror, and I shot the film and released it on DVD in 2013.
Wow. What did it feel like when you first released that? Because that was your first project.
It felt great because it took a long time. Like, it was a long time in the making. I have to kind of rewind a little bit. I
Mhm.
actually decided to become a filmmaker when I got out of high school. I knew I didn't want to work a regular job and retire. I knew that wasn't for me. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I always thought, like, okay, initially I wanted to direct music videos, but then I thought about it. You've always loved watching movies and you love writing. Why not write your own movies? So in like 2001, I wrote my very first screenplay, House of Pain, at the time. And I
Mhm.
tried to get it done, but I didn't have the money or the experience, so I was kind of just winging it. I learned a lot of things by reading and actually watching behind the scenes documentaries on DVDs. So, I tried to do the film, life happened, I had to put it off for a few years. So when I came back to it in 2012 and completed the film, it was a great feeling, honestly. It was a sense of accomplishment for something that I
Mhm.
talked about for so many years to finally see it, even though it wasn't perfect. I got it done. I got it done on my own terms with my money. And it was a great feeling. Great feeling.
That's awesome. That is awesome. What made you stay independent instead of chasing the traditional Hollywood scene?
Freedom. The freedom to
Mhm.
do what I want to do with my films. I don't really want to be told what I can and can't put in my films, or because someone gives me money, they control the narrative, they control this, they control that. I like to I kind of like I might have a little bit of control issues when it comes to certain things, but I like to control my films and how I do them and how they're distributed, the cast. When you're working for Hollywood or bigger production companies, they have a lot of say so in all of those things. Casting, the marketing, distribution, the content that you can and can't put in there. And I just want to stay independent and free and just do
Mhm.
and tell the stories that I want to tell.
Right. That gives you freedom, like you said.
Yes.
So, you've directed over 20 films.
Yes.
What do people not understand about what kind of workload you have?
People do not understand when you're doing everything yourself, everything that comes with it. And people don't understand that this costs money. But like anything, filmmaking is an endeavor that you have to put money into. And when you're putting your own money into it, you still have to live life and pay your bills and things of that nature. So a lot of people feel like it's easy to make a film. and it's really not. Until you've actually written a script, put it together, cast it, found locations, and all of that, then you really don't know. I mean, it's a lot that goes into filmmaking. Like I
Mhm.
said, the from the initial process, writing the script, casting, pre-production, looking for locations.
Does creating that much ever become mentally challenging or mentally exhausting?
Not really, because
Mhm.
I just have so many ideas floating around in my head. It's just all day, every day. My brain never turns off. It's just like always going. And I always see things that inspire film. Like I'm inspired
Mhm.
by life, everyday life. I could go outside right now and see something. And I'm like, you know what? That might make a good film. So it's never mentally exhausting as far as the creative part. Now there
Mhm.
are other factors that come along with filmmaking that are definitely exhausting, but not the creative part for me so much.
What other part?
Dealing with people and things like that can be a bit challenging at times. Like with
Mhm.
any other job, when you work your corporate job, you're going to have issues maybe with other coworkers or management or things of that nature. So you just have to be very diplomatic, and that's something that I discovered through this filmmaking journey, that I'm like, okay, I'm the one in charge, it's my production, I have to handle things a certain way. I can't just come off how I may want to sometimes. So I
Mhm.
have to be professional and handle things to where we're still able to get things done and we don't waste a lot of time. Because time is money on set. So I don't really want to spend a lot of time on set arguing or trying to work out things that should have been worked out beforehand. So
Wow.
that part can be draining.
Yeah, yeah. Do you allow them to be creative, or do you want them, or you just want to control the whole um, setup as far as they may want to do it this way or that way, or say it this way or that way?
No, I'm
Are you
open to
mhm,
allowing my actors to be creative.
okay?
Sometimes a line might not be working for a particular actor, so I'm like, okay, how would you say this? And then we work through it. But I mean, I just don't want you to go too far left, and then you throw all the other actors off in the story. But I'm definitely open to allowing my actors to be creative.
Mhm. Do they surprise you sometimes? Do they do it during filming, or they have to do it prior to that so you kind of know what's going on, or they just kind of just do something? You be like, oh, okay.
It depends. Sometimes it's actually during filming. We'll have a conversation prior to a take, and then we'll do the take, and they'll do something I wasn't expecting. I'm like, okay, I like that. That actually worked. Or
Hmm.
sometimes it doesn't work. I'm like, nah, that's not gonna work. So, we can't do that. But yeah, I'm surprised pretty often at the things that actors come up with. I have
Mm.
actually had the opportunity to work with a lot of creative minds, and they can just do things on the spot. Like they could take something and just almost create their own thing with it, and it's amazing. I love it.
Right. Because that just shows you how much they're into that character. They become the character. So their vision may be different from yours, probably.
Right.
Right.
Right, and I'm definitely open to that. I don't, want it to be like, "Oh, say the line this way," or, I don't want it to be like
Yeah.
that, because I want things to be natural. I want everybody to feel natural. I want it when people are watching the film, I don't want you to feel like you're watching the film. I want you to get into it and, like, feel as though these are real people having real conversations.
Mhm. Mhm. Let it flow. Let it flow.
Yes. Mhm.
Why horror? What is it about fear that keeps your creativity going?
So it's funny because when I was young, I hated horror films. Like you couldn't pay me to watch them. Like Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street. I would not watch them. But as I got older, I got attracted to the idea of like people being scared and being in situations where they have to think and fight for their life. And I
Mm,
think like, what would I do if I was in this situation realistically? So, the horror, I'm attracted to horror for those reasons because, we're all scared of something or have been afraid. So it's like, what do you do in that situation? Depending on the characters and things like that. So that's what really attracts me to horror. And also besides that, it's just fun. I do
Yeah.
actually like the slasher films. I love making slasher films. I'm inspired by the films of the '80s, like Slumber Party Massacre and Friday the 13th and all of those films. So, like dealing with
Mhm.
the fake blood and everybody running around with the fake knives and stuff like that. It's fun. It's fun, honestly.
That was the best time, the '80s for that, for the horror film.
Yeah, it was. That's what inspired me, honestly. I have a film called Slumber Party Slaughter Party. I made 2 of them, and they were inspired by the Slumber Party Massacre series that came out in the '80s by, a producer named Roger Corman.
So
Yes,
he was
ma'am.
your inspiration? Was he
Uh
kinda like
he was one of them. I have many actually. Another guy named Lloyd Kaufman, who's an independent filmmaker. He makes a lot of like horror comedy films. And he's the president of Trauma Entertainment. They are an independent film company that has been around since the '70s. And I actually got him to do a couple of scenes in Slumber Party Slaughter Party 2. So it was
Wow.
great to have him in my film. We talked on the phone, even though I didn't actually meet him in person 'cause he filmed his scenes during COVID, so
Oh.
we couldn't meet.
Mhm, mhm.
So, but
Wow,
yeah,
that's pretty cool to have that collab with somebody that you know, kinda admired, you know? Yeah.
actually, with that same film, Slumber Party Slaughter Party 2, I was able to get the acting services of a horror scream queen that's been around since the '80s named Brink Stevens. She was
What?
in my film. She came through. She was great. I flew her out from LA. She came, New Orleans, was professional, very nice, very humble. And, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, because sometimes I've heard stories about the bigger, Hollywood actors, but she came in and she was great, so it was great working with her as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Do you think horror allows artists to say things people normally avoid talking about?
Definitely, definitely. You can put, like, taboo subjects in a horror film,
Mhm.
so I do feel as though that horror can kinda get certain things out there or whatever that you might not. I mean, you can't put in a comedy or something. Well, I guess you could, but
Well, yeah.
Um, you know, but, I mean, horror, I do feel as though it allows people opportunity to be more creative and do things that, like I said, touch on taboo subjects.
Mhm, mhm.
So
What's darker, creating horror films or surviving the film industry itself?
I guess surviving the film industry. Um, because it's a lot, like I said, I'm still on the independent level. But again, it's a struggle. It's an everyday grind. I've been doing this for a few years now, and I'm nowhere near where I would like to be. But I mean, I love the creative process and I love everything about filmmaking from writing, dialogue, characters, plots, casting. I love casting. Um, you know, Looking for locations, not so much. but
I bet.
I love everything about it. So there's nothing that would ever stop me from doing this. So I'm in the game until I'm no longer breathing.
I
But
know that's right.
so yeah, pretty much like surviving the industry. I mean, and then I don't want to get caught up in a lot of other things that, go on that I'm not gonna get too deep into right now. But it's a lot of other things that I want to stay away from and kind of do things my way.
Mhm. I find that interesting because, I've had different artists on the podcast,
Hmm.
and a lot of many of them say the same thing. They're not interested in that whole hoopla over there on that
Oh yeah,
side.
yeah, they can keep that. I mean, it's just too much for
Yeah.
me. I'm a simple
Yeah.
person. I like simple things. So, as long as I'm able to, handle my business and be creative, that's all I want. I'm
Mhm.
fine. I mean, that's what I'm striving for.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever scared yourself creatively? Have you ever scared yourself?
Uh, that's a good question. I I'm gonna say no right now. Yeah, I'm gonna say no right now, but who knows down the line? You ask me that again, I might have a different answer for you.
Okay. So, independent filmmakers wear different hats. What has that pressure done to you?
that pressure has made me be a lot more effective and pay more attention to a lot of things because I have to pay attention to if I'm directing the actors. Oh, let me make sure this is not in the scene, move that over there. I have to pay attention to the location. And then if I'm acting in the film, I have to focus on my acting. So it has forced me to pay attention. Now, there are times where you're going to miss stuff. I mean, we're all human. So you're not going to 100% get everything. And that's why I had to start kind of falling back and assembling a team, but
Mm.
and delegate certain things for certain people. But before I was doing everything, the lighting, the directing, the sound, the the acting, I was doing a lot. But like the past couple of years, I don't do it all so much.
Mhm, mhm. Do you like it? Doing all the different wearing the different hats? I mean, I guess that comes with the creative side, I guess.
Yes, I actually enjoy it. I do like it. I feel as though that, nobody's going to do it 100% how I want it done. So that's why I prefer to do certain things. I'm like, you know what? Okay, let me do this, let me do that. So, so I actually do enjoy it.
Okay, good. Have there ever been moments where you question whether all this was worth it in what you're doing as far as filmmaking?
There's been many moments. There are some days where I'm sitting back like, why am I doing this? Why am I spending my money? Why am I wasting my time? Why am I frustrating myself? You're not making all of this money that you put out. So it's like you're just wasting money and wasting time. Why are you doing this? So I've had many days like that, but then I snap back and I'm like, the reason I do this is because I love it and I can't imagine doing anything else. Like,
Mhm.
just to give you an honest answer, I just really can't imagine not making films, especially since I started. Even when I take little breaks, I'm like, oh man, I need to film again. So, I
Yeah,
just love doing it. So, it gets frustrating and I do question it a lot, but then I come right back like, what else would you do?
right,
So
right.
and then I continue. So
I guess that's what a lot of creative spaces, because you have those moments where you be like, but you got to remember what you're doing this for and the why behind it, and
exactly.
kind of
Exactly. And I
keeps you on
mean,
that.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, and then just another thing real quick. I just like to, as far as like with the filmmaking, I have two children and they see me doing the filmmaking journey. And I just want to show them that, if you love something, you should stick with it. There are going to be frustrating times. There are going to be days where you doubt yourself. But I mean, if you continue and you get to where you want to be finally, then you'll be good. I
Hmm.
mean, it's gonna be frustrating, but I mean, just keep going.
Yeah. Be keep going and be consistent, right?
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
What do you think people romanticize about filmmaking that actually isn't glamorous at all?
Uh, I think people think it's just a big, like, show or, like, they don't understand the grind. That's what I would say, like, people don't understand, like, when you're on set for hours, you can get tired, you can get frustrated, irritated, things like that, and it's like, this isn't Hollywood. Sometimes we have to film like 12. I've shot 16 hours one day,
Whoa.
which is a long time. So a lot of people don't understand that, it's not this big great thing where you're always going to be happy or, I mean, it's definitely a grind. And you have to
Hmm.
put in the work if you want to be successful with it.
How difficult is it to stay motivated when independent films don't always get the visibility they deserve?
Now, yeah, that part can be very frustrating because it's like you put all this work into a project, your blood, sweat, and tears and money, and then you finally put it out there and it doesn't do what you want to do. So it's disappointing. You're like, well, why wasn't this successful, or why was this film successful? It makes you question yourself sometimes, honestly.
Hmm.
But there are a lot of different factors as to why some films are more successful than others. But, I mean, but you just have to, as long as you know that you put your best foot forward, then, I mean, that's all you can really do, and just go as hard as you can, even on the post-production, promoting, marketing. As long as you do what you need to do, then that's all you can really do. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm happy with that as long as I know I did what I could, all the way around.
Right. What made you create Pure Prestige, but the production company, instead of
Um,
waiting for opportunities?
Well, initially, my production company was called DeWayne Etheridge Studios, and then I just changed the name in like 2018. And I created that because I wanted to control the narrative, and like I said earlier, do things the way I wanted to do it, control my films, put them out how I wanted to do them, cast who I wanted, and just really control the narrative. I didn't want to sit back and wait for opportunities. I
Mhm.
was like, nobody's gonna come knocking on my door like, "Dwayne, okay, here you go. Here goes $3 million to make your film." So I had to get out here and work regular jobs, put money to the side, be creative, and get these films together. That was the only way they were going to get done. That was the
Mhm.
only way. So yeah, Pure Prestige just came because out of necessity for one, and just the fact that I wanted to control everything about my films and filmmaking process.
That was a good call.
Thank you.
That was a good call.
Thank
Mhm. So creating your own film network on Roku is major. It's
Yes.
pretty major. Did building your own platform come from frustration with gatekeeping?
Very much so, yes. Because again, with the control of certain companies and streaming platforms, when they won't allow you to get on there, it's like you have to create your own lane. What do they say about something about getting in the lane or creating your own lane? I can't remember the exact saying right now,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just decided to create my own lane. I just love creating my own stuff and give people an opportunity to see what I can do on my platform, which is the independent productions company, which I run with my business partner. And yeah, we put our films on there, and we're actually going to revamp the network pretty soon and get on a different platform and have brand new content. So, like toward the end of 2026, going into 2027, we're going to have a lot coming up. So just stay tuned, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, you ought to be though. That is
Mhm.
awesome. I'm
Yes, ma'am.
excited for you.
Thank you.
Do you think artists are slowly realizing they may need to build their own ecosystems?
Yes. I have a lot of
Yes.
conversations every day with different artists, and they're like, yeah, we need to do this. So, again, with the controlling and not having to sit back and wait for opportunities, because you could be
Mhm.
waiting a lifetime and nothing ever happens. I mean, then what? So I mean, I'm not getting any younger. So at this point, whatever I can to get out there and keep pushing, that's what I'm going to do. And I mean, a lot of people are getting on board with that. A lot of
Mhm.
people, a lot of filmmakers, they're creating their own networks and, stuff like that. So, and I love it. I love when people do their own thing. So,
Yeah. What version of Dwayne never makes it onto the screen?
hmm, that's an interesting question. What version of Dwayne never makes it to the screen? Uh, the old version of me, because I've changed a lot in the years. Like the easily frustrated version or the easily aggravated or irritated. I mean, now in my age, I'm a lot more calm. I'm in my 40s. So, I've learned a lot, seen a lot, experienced a lot. So, and I've also had a couple health issues over the last couple years. So I'm like, it's not worth the stress, you know. So yeah, that version, the old version of me, maybe from like 2014, 15, that was a different person. And I'm glad that I've evolved and changed from that time period.
For the good.
Yes, for the
Right.
good, definitely. That
Yeah.
yeah, that wasn't a good time frame for me. I'll be honest with you, but again, I've
Mhm.
learned and grown and evolved, and yeah, I've learned how to handle things a lot differently with a lot more patience.
That's good. Has being a creator ever isolated you from people who don't understand the lifestyle?
Yes. Actually caused a lot of relationships not to work. I mean romantic relationships because people just don't understand what all filmmaking entails, what all goes into it. It's not like I can do it for 5 minutes thing. It takes time to write a script. It takes time to film. It takes time to cast. And a lot of people don't always understand why you're devoting so much time into this craft. But if it's your passion, you're going to devote time, and this is something again that I love doing, can't imagine doing anything else. So yeah, I'm going to devote time into it.
Mhm.
And that causes you to lose some friends, lose relationships because they don't understand it. Their path is different from yours. They don't understand your journey and your passion, and that's fine. It doesn't necessarily make them bad people or you. Y'all just not for each other, and that's fine. But I mean, you can't stop what you're doing for other people to please other people. Because at the end of the day, you live your life. You live your life for you, so you do what makes you happy, and that's what I do. So
Mhm. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. I hope these people are hearing this because this is so true.
that's why I
I'm
tried not to
telling you.
say too much. I kept it real brief.
No, that was good. That was good. Yes.
Mm.
Do artists eventually become addicted to creating, even when it
Yes,
hurts them?
I feel as though yes.
Okay.
Speaking for myself, yes.
Okay. And
So,
how does it hurt you when speaking about regarding yourself?
it can hurt me when again things not they don't always go how I thought they would go for the film. So, or like the performance is disappointing, or the film doesn't come out how you wanted it. And that's when you put a lot of
Yeah.
time and money into something, then it comes out and it's not how you wanted it. Yeah, that's a hurting feeling.
Uh-huh.
And I've experienced that a couple times. I'm like, oh man, But again, I'm like, okay, so that's a lesson learned for the next film. You
Right.
know, I know what to do, what not to do for the next one.
Mhm.
So, it's yeah, that's what it is. But I mean, again, I just can't stop because I love the entire creative process. And I love interacting with creative people, having conversations about film, and I just love it.
Yeah. What's the hardest thing you've had to accept about being an artist?
The hardest thing. I guess that everybody's not gonna get it. Um, and that you're not always going to have the money that you would like. Because being an independent artist, most of the time, let's be real, you're pretty broke, for the most part. So that really, it's frustrating because you still have bills in real life, but you have to find a way to do what you do and still live your life, which is what I do. I mean, I find a way to balance them, but it can be frustrating, honestly, with the financial part. But
Mhm.
one day I'm going to get where I want to be financially, and I keep that in mind regardless to what I'm going through. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get to where I need to be and want to be one day. So stay focused and get this done. So
Mhm. That's kinda like a drive for you too, you know?
yes, it is.
Mhm.
Very much so. It keeps me going, keeps me motivated. With those times where I'm like, forget this, man. I don't want, I'm like, nah, you have to do it. Take a break.
Yes.
Go for a walk, do something. But then when you calm down, come back, formulate a plan. Cause I do a lot of writing. I'm old school. I get a pen and a notebook and I jot things down, ideas for films or, where I want to be in the next 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, that's how I am. And, I just keep moving. I keep pushing, until I
Mhm.
finally get there.
I heard that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
What separates people who say they wanna make films from people who actually finish them?
That is a great question. So a lot of people feel like they want to make movies and a lot of people come to me with ideas to make films. and they think that I'm gonna do it. I'm like, "Nah, I mean, this is your idea, so you
Right.
came up with it. Yeah, I mean, I can give you advice or do what I can, but I'm not gonna take it over." And a lot of people do let, like, lack of funds stop them from doing film. It's so many conversations I've had with people like, "Oh, when I get this money, Imma do this film." I'm like, "Okay, what if that never happens? You're not gonna do the film?" You know what I'm saying? And there's so many people
Mhm.
like that. And, like, "Oh, well, I wanna have this money." Okay, in a perfect world, we would all have at least $1 million for our first film. The world is not perfect. So, I mean, what are you gonna do? And I took it upon myself, like I said, with my unemployment money, did my first film. So, you have to figure out a way to get it done. There are ways to do an inexpensive film.
Mhm.
You don't need 1 million, 2 million to do a film. And I feel like a lot of people think that you do. To me, a lot of the most entertaining films have a small cast, one primary location. To me, it's the story that drives everything, not how much money you have to do the film.
Mhm.
So, but
Mhm.
yeah, just to give you the quick answer that a lot of people do talk, but again, they let circumstances, like if they have kids or bills, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this one day," and then 15, 20 years have passed and you never do anything.
It never comes.
Never comes.
Because
And I
that's just
refuse to be that guy.
yeah, yeah. It's almost like they're making up to have some type of excuse to not do it. They're coming
Exactly.
up with
That's
all
what I
this
think. Mhm.
yeah. So if your heart's not in it, you're not gonna do it.
You're not.
You're
So
not.
just don't do it. I mean, don't even say you want to do it. But I mean, you coming up with, "Oh, I can't because my car note due or that." Okay, that's still gonna be there. Your bill's gonna be there. But I mean,
Yep.
are you gonna let that stop you from doing something you're supposedly passionate about? Because I'm not.
Mhm.
You know
Mhm. And you're gonna have to put money into it in order to build it and to make it. You're gonna
exactly.
have to put money into it. I mean,
You have to. I mean, I've done that. I've been doing this for years now. I bought camera equipment, lighting equipment, paid for location, paid actors. Not all the time, but I have, paid for, certain projects. And I mean, stuff costs,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
editing software. I mean, but again, I do it. I don't look at it as a waste of time or money because it's an investment in myself, my company, and my growth as a filmmaker.
Mhm. I had a film producer come on the podcast, and he said he started his first film $3,500,
Hmm.
but he pulled it off,
Yeah.
and it's on Tubi right now, and it's doing well. I mean,
Okay. See,
mhm,
that's what I'm saying.
mhm,
And that's not a lot of money to put into a film. And is it a feature film? Yeah.
yep,
See, that's not a lot
yep,
of money to put into a film. So, I mean,
mhm.
if you can't invest that in yourself, then I don't know. I don't know.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, because my films aren't $1 million budgets, but
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
I get them
No,
done.
I mean you got to start somewhere.
You do, you
You
do.
have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, what does rejection teach independent filmmakers? What do you think it does?
To be resourceful, because if you one no doesn't mean it's over. It means you have to find another way or go to someone else. Find another source or, find another way to get it done. And I feel as though I've mastered that at this point in my career. When people say no or no, I can't give you this money or no, you can't. Okay. And then I have to be creative and find another way to get it done. So it
Mhm.
definitely makes you be resourceful.
Do you think talent alone is enough anymore?
No, no. Unfortunately, there are a lot of talented people that never get an opportunity, especially these days. One because they might not even try. I know a lot of talented people that are shy and they don't even realize how talented they are. So they don't try to do anything with it. I'm like, hey, if you pretty funny, have you ever thought about this? Or no, I never thought about that. Or, have you ever thought about acting? Well, no, I don't think I'd be good at it. I mean, how do you know you didn't try?
Mhm.
Um, so it's just really disappointing to me because I hate like seeing people waste talent. And then opportunities aren't going to come forever. So, but yeah,
Yeah. It seems like to me too, it seems like people that are talented, a lot of them do
mhm,
have that shyness.
they do. They do,
And that's weird. But they get out there,
and they
but
can do it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they take
Huh.
it. I mean, but in my opinion, these days, a lot of people are more focused on like influencers and people like that, versus like people with real talent. And I mean, I hate to say it like that. I'm not saying influencers don't have real talent, but I'm saying like people who really focus on their craft and study their craft and want to become better actors and like take workshops and things of that nature.
Mhm.
So unfortunately, talent alone does not cut it these days. Like you have to do that, and you have to be resourceful, and you have to keep pushing and grinding and network. That's another thing. I know a lot of talented actors and people who do not network. They refuse to network. I don't understand it, but
Hmm.
they refuse to network with people. How are you gonna get
Wow.
anything done if you're not networking, talking to people, getting business cards, going to events? I mean, that type of thing. Like I don't know.
Yeah. You should mix and mingle, I would think.
Definitely. If you wanna, I mean, you have to. I
Mhm.
mean, because I'm not the most social person all the time, but I learned that a part of this career is interacting with people. So I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to interact and talk to people if you're going to make films. So I had to put that part of Dwayne to the side and really just learn how to network. And I mean, I feel as though I do a good job with that. Cause even on
Mhm.
social media, I'm talking to different people. I'll be on Instagram and I'll see somebody. I'm like, you know what? I like their look. Let me send them a message and tell them, introduce myself and see if they're interested in acting. I do that almost every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
you
I
know?
do that too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that.
You gotta get out there,
You have to.
let people know you're here.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean,
So
so that's a part of it. And I really wish more people did that. So, because you could be talented, but if you don't put yourself out there, nobody's going to know how talented you are.
mhm.
I'm sorry for the long winded
No,
answer to that
no, that's
question.
good. I like the long-winded.
but
After everything you've created, uh, what keeps you going?
ooh, what keeps me going is I get excited about the next project. So I finish a project, I'm like, that's cool. I'll have the premiere at the movie theater. I'll put it online and stuff like that. But I'm always thinking about the next project. What can I make better? How am I going to make the next one better than the last? So I get excited and that keeps me going, because I want to challenge myself. I want to top myself. Like, all right, Dwayne, so now you got to make something better than the last three films that you've made. So it's really just the motivation and drive to be one of the best filmmakers that I can be. I've been doing this for a while, but I'm still learning. You never stop learning,
You never
so
stop learning.
yeah, and that's the thing about it. I mean, I'm still every project. I'm like, okay, I learned something new. I love learning from people that with more experience, less experience. You can learn something from anybody. So
Mhm.
you should never be afraid to learn from people or whatever. You never know. So, but yeah, that's what keeps me going. Like, just trying to make the best projects I can and just top myself from project to project.
Project. I love it. I love it. What would you say to the artist who feels unseen right now?
I would tell that artist to figure out a way to get yourself seen. If you have to do skits online or Instagram or on Facebook, create a YouTube channel doing things, I would say do that. Don't wait until tomorrow. Do it today. Find a way, get it done. I mean, it's a lot easier with social media than it was years ago. Because you can get yourself out there and you spend all the time. Most people spend the majority of the day on social media anyway. So you might as well be networking, marketing, promoting yourself. You know, if you're an actor, just try to get like some headshots done or whatever and get in, little projects here and there. But I would say today, start today doing something. Even if you get, well, you might not write stuff down like me because I'm old school, but even if you plot and plan, put in your phone, this is what I want to do within this time period, do that. But do something would be my advice. So you can get out there and it's not going to happen instantly. But if you keep grinding and people will notice you, because people will notice you. Once you keep grinding to get out there. I mean, that's what I would say.
Hmm. Yeah, it'll come.
Oh
It'll
yeah,
take some time, but it'll get there.
oh yeah, most definitely,
It's
most
I think
definitely.
people don't they're afraid of the process or the I don't know.
They're definitely afraid, and it's like, I don't want to go through all that. Well, you don't want to do it. I mean, like, it doesn't
Exactly.
happen overnight. I've been doing this for years. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? But I mean, again, I love it, so I'm gonna keep grinding until I get to where I want to be. Then I can look back and say I'm glad I didn't stop.
Yes.
I mean, I look
Yes.
at people like Tyler Perry sleeping in his car, doing his stage plays with his money, and then he got the money to do Diary of a Mad Black Woman, the film. Look at him now. He owns two
Ooh,
studios in Atlanta.
come on.
I
Mhm.
mean, and like people like Harvey's story, and Kevin Hart said it took him 18 years to get to where he is now. So, you can't just do it for a
Mm.
day and think you're gonna get $1 million, like that.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta
So
put the time and the work in. You gotta
you
do
have
that.
to. You
And
have to.
it'll pay off eventually, it
Yeah,
will. I
I
believe
believe that.
that.
I truly believe that.
Yes. Now, if you had a superpower to give to an artist, what would it be and why?
If I gave a superpower, I guess the power of being resilient again. Because that can be a superpower. You have to be resilient, especially in this game. Because you're going to hear a
Yeah.
lot of no's. If you don't have any money, like I said earlier, you could sit down and just say, "Oh, I'm not going to do it. I'm gonna wait till I get this $1 million." But no, I would give every artist the superpower of being resilient to get what they need done.
All right. Well, if someone wanted to follow you or see what you check you out, see what you're up to, what are your platforms? How can they reach out to you?
My name, DeWayne Etheridge, DeWayne Etheridge on Facebook, Pure Prestige Productions on Instagram and on Facebook as well. And then I'm on TikTok, Pure Prestige Productions. So, follow me on all those platforms. Check us out. Check out the Independent Productions Network on the Roku channel on your smart TV.
Yay!
So yeah, we have a lot going on. So definitely, I say reach out if you're an up and coming artist. I'm always looking for new artists that are serious and, you know, um, really want to network. And then you can reach out. Can I give my email?
Yes, please do.
Okay, so my email is pureprestigemy@yahoo.com. If you're an up and coming filmmaker, artist that would like to collaborate and you're serious, reach out to me. I'm always willing to work with new people. I'm always looking forward to it, always excited. And look out for my film Trading Partners, which is a feature drama film. It is on the Bedtime Stories TV app, and that's an app that you can download for free on Android. It's going to be on Apple pretty soon as well.
Cool.
Yeah, so you can check me out, and yeah, I appreciate everybody that's watching this, that will watch this, and again, I appreciate you for having me on your platform.
Thank you so much for being on Artistry Unplugged podcast. We appreciate you. Much success to
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a great day. And yeah, I thank you again. Can't say
Thank
it
you.
enough.
Well, tonight's conversation wasn't just about filmmaking, it was about endurance, pressure, and continue to create even when nobody's watching. I'm Denise Michelle, and this is Artistry Unplugged. Until next time.